Hi, good evening. I'm James Lim, founder of Property Plus System. And recently, if you have been following my blog, you'll be also know that the government has increased the seller stamp duty from 3 years to 4 years. And the main reason why the government does so is because the government has actually noticed that there's a very huge amount of people who actually sell during a sub-sale. And what is the meaning of sub-sale is that units that are sold before TOP, which means this group of investors, they bought it on day one under new launch, okay, which has not been constructed yet, and 3 years later they sell it even before the unit has been TOP. So the government actually is clamping down on this group of people because the government do not want them to make so much money, okay, and they have actually profiting quite a bit of which caused actually the property price to go up. Okay, so in today's topic, I'll be sharing with you why new launch seems to be so attractive and why it beat resale especially for upgraders. So come, let's get on with it. Now, the first topic I just want to talk about is actually that, and I'm going to show you is that if you buy a new launch, actually you pay less mortgage upfront, and actually there's also more safety net to it. So it is also easier to maintain your monthly cash flow because you actually pay a lesser mortgage, and also there's less financial stress for the first few years. This will actually give you time to save on or to build up on your capital. So let me show you an example. So if you don't look at new homes, right, okay, for the first year, for the first 12 months, your monthly mortgage, because it's progressive payment, so you're paying the mortgage based only on 5%, that's why your monthly mortgage is only 371. Okay, for the second year is 10%, which is like 1,001. Now do take note, these are all estimated because different developments will TOP differently. Some take 3 years to construct, very few will take 4 years, so normally it's within the 3 years mark, but I'm just giving you a scenario of the 4 years for easy comparison. Okay, now if you look at then after that, you will see that the developer will build the wall, ceiling, windows, car park, and so on and so forth. Now in total, if you want to calculate what is your total mortgage, okay, I calculate over here after 4 years is actually 66,000. Okay, so this I just want to share with you that for new homes, for the first 4 years, because you do not want to pay the seller stamp duty, you only sell it after the 4 years mark. Which means I always tell my clients that, let's say you decide that you want to quit your job, you want to travel the world, you want to relax, just make sure that you have this 66,000 in your bank account before you quit. Because with this 66,000 in your bank account, you will be able to pay your property for the next 4 years, and after that, you can sell off your property, no problem at all. But if you want to buy a resale unit, because it's no longer progressive payment, each payment is 5,500, okay? And you calculate over 4 years, it is in total is 267,000, which means if you look at these two comparison, keeping aside 66,000 for the 4 years and keeping aside 267,000, which is safer. Okay, so there is a very huge security risk is that, you will be very afraid that, if you lose your job, okay, if you lose your job halfway, don't worry, you just have to have this amount of money. As compared to this amount of money, you'll be more stressed to find a job, especially if you buy a resale unit. So that is the danger, or that is the main difference or the risk factor between a new home versus a resale. Now the second one is we also talk about your exit strategy. Okay, this also talk about your safety. Now this is actually a property price index of the Singapore pricing over the last few years. But then again, let's take this as an example. Let's assume, let's do an assumption that this project launched in 2018 at 1,400 per square foot. Now let's say it takes 4 years to construct. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then maybe let's talk about 2023. Roughly is around 1,008, 1,009. Okay, now in 2018, let's say you buy at 1,004. 4 years later, it will go up to maybe 1,009. Okay, let's assume that you decide to buy this property coming in 2025 that is like 2,000 per square foot. Now, when you buy in 2,000 per square foot, how can you exit? You basically want to make money, right? So you need to sell at above 2,000 in order to make profit. But then again, who are your main competitors? Your main competitors are those who bought during the first few years, okay, the first few years who bought less than 2,000. And in order for you to make profit, right, this group of home buyers, they have to sell above 2,000 in order for you to profit, for you to have a paper gain. Now, let's assume that there is a recession or another COVID hits. Let's say property price were to drop. okay, or maybe there's an oversupply in the market, you know, property price drop. Now, when it drops at time, let's say there's no buyers. Okay, so let's look at this group of people who are the first mover. They bought at 1,400. When they bought at 1,400 and they know that their valuation is 2,000, but if they can't sell at 2,000, they can sell at 1,008. And if they were to sell at 1,008 and they bought at 1,004, they still make a 400 per square foot profit. But then again, for you, if you buy into here at the later stage at 2,000 and people sell at 1,008, which means your valuation has dropped to 1,008, which means basically you have to hold, okay? Or actually, in fact, right, if valuation will drop, you actually do have to pay more mortgage to the bank. So this is actually not very good for you. So the one very good news about buying new launch is that because everybody in the condominium, they bought at this pricing, 1,008 as a average. Therefore, if everybody want to make profit, definitely the price will go up. So this is what I mean by the second safe form of safety net. Buying at a price that is actually at the base, at the lowest. Even if you were to buy at the all-time high, you know, as this example, if property price will still go up, everybody basically want to make a profit. They will still sell higher. Okay, let's assume that crisis, like example, this example over here. If you buy at 1,004, property price went up to 1,006. During COVID era, it went down to 1,005. You sell, you can still make a profit. Okay, so this is what I mean by the second form of safety. Now, let me show you some data where it talks about, especially in terms of capital appreciation. Now, this is the new launch ROI that actually I found out that I tabulated since 2015 to 2025 over the last 10 years. And this is actually the profit for resale in general or the whole of Singapore from 2015 to 2025. Okay, so I take this as an average. So now if you look at the new launch ROI, right, you have seen that new launch ROI has actually been going up steadily from like roughly around 4% all the way to 8%. But then again, you'll see that for resale ROI, it has been hovering very steadily of roughly around 3 to 4%. So basically, how much profit do you want? Do you want an 8% profit or do you prefer a 4% profit? Now, what other advantages is there for new launch as compared to a resale? Okay, so especially during the construction period, okay, the first 3 to 4 years during construction period, because the house is not fully built yet, there's no maintenance fee and you also do not pay any property tax. As mentioned earlier, for resale, because you get your unit straight away, you definitely will have to pay maintenance fee and property tax already. Number 2, definitely for new launches, when upon TOP that time, let's assume you plan to keep it and you want cash flow, definitely you have a better rental demand. Okay, why? Because basically tenants, they like new products. They like to stay in new houses that is actually brand new. Okay, and for tenants wise, this is actually just experience. For tenants wise, their biggest fear is that what if the aircon break down? Okay, and of course you also do have this fear that what if your tenant makes spoil anything? You do have a 1-year warranty from developer. Not just your house, not just your defect, but your aircon has servicing, your washing machine, your fridge, everything all has that 1-year warranty. Now, of course, my last slide is that should you buy a resale? I'm not saying resale is no good. I do have clients after new launches, they feel that it's not suitable for them. They do buy resale. And what type of clients actually do buy resale? You buy resale when, of course, definitely there's a need of space. You know, yes, I have to admit, houses are actually getting smaller. But then again, developers are also very smart in the sense that when house gets smaller at a time, they reduce the total amount of wasted space. But then again, like let's say you don't like a balcony. For me, I'm a balcony guy. I love balcony because it keeps my house very airy. It will reduce the overall heat. It will make my house look more spacious. So there's a need of balcony for me. But then again, for you is that if you feel that you need a very huge space and you find that balcony is a waste of space, you feel that 9 square meter for a common room is too small, you want a very huge master bedroom size, definitely you should go buy a resale. Okay. Secondly is also total of overall cost. Now, a 99 years new property versus a 60 years leasehold that is left. Definitely a 60 leasehold property will cost lesser. Okay, you not only get a bigger space, you also cost less. Okay, so let's assume that you can't match that budget. You go for a resale. Of course, number 3 is location. The number 1 reason why people move house is basically because of location. Okay, and let's assume that you need to put your child into a school nearby, within 1 kilometer, because it's a good school. Therefore, you are moving your house for your kid. You can't wait for that 3 to 4 years to construct. Definitely, you have to buy a resale to move in faster, and this will give your kids an advantage. So that is all I have for you for this week's topic of new launch versus resale. I hope you have seen how the market or how investors look at new launches. Mainly is more capital appreciation and lesser and more safety nets or lesser risk. So these are my 2 conclusions that I have for you, and this is why people are buying new launches. Now, if you have other questions about new launches, or what new launch that is good to buy, or if you feel that what I said is not correct, please post in the comment section below. Okay, if you want to find out more, do WhatsApp me. My number and my website is all below. And if you like this video and you find this helpful, please give a thumbs up and do subscribe to us, because it will help in our YouTube algorithm. That's all I have for you. See you next week. Thank you so long, and bye.